Why won't the Cheetah play hide and go seek with Wonder Woman anymore? Because she's always spotted. Hi, thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel today. With so much great content being put out in the YouTube comic book community, I don't take for granted the fact that you want to spend some of your time on my Comic Book Editions Volume 107 video today. It means the world to me, and I'm glad that you're here. I don't have a lot of books to show you today, but I have some awesome books to show you, including an update on how my top 12 list of 2022 is progressing. So let's get started. With a joke like our opener, I think that this is the book that we have to show first today. First of all, let's take a moment to admire this cover, right? Wonder Woman Volume 1, issue number 230. So you're probably thinking to yourself, I thought you had all the Wonder Womans from the Silver Age on up, Ryan. I do. This is not my second copy, this is my third copy. Now you're saying, why do you have 3 copies of this? Outside of the fact that it's an amazing cover, which we've already established. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this is going to get autographed sometime in the very near future. Fingers crossed. So hopefully you'll see this again, updated with some writing on it on a future Comic Book Editions video. First of all, if you're not familiar with this issue, I highly recommend this. And this is on the DC app as well. It's just a one-issue story. And it takes place during World War II. At that time, the Wonder Woman TV show was in season 1 and on ABC TV. And they were set in World War II. So they had the comic books match suit. So it's the Earth 2 Wonder Woman adventures. And here she's taking on her arch nemesis, Cheetah. And like I said, it's a great one-off story. Cheetah devises this great plan in deducing Wonder Woman's secret identity. And she actually does. Everything gets wrapped up within one issue, though. Just a fun Bronze Age read if you're looking for something. I do recommend this one. And as I said, fingers crossed to see this very soon again on my YouTube channel and in future Comic Book Editions only autographed. I just wanted to have an extra copy specifically to get signed. And this was in pretty good shape. Picked this one up on eBay, as is the next few that I'm going to show you. Moving along. You might remember last month did this very special Comic Book Editions Volume 100 where I unboxed my Justice League of America Volume 1, Issue 1. Yes! So guess what I've got to show you right now. If you said Justice League of America Volume 1, Issue number 2, you are wrong. I have this. What the heck is this, right? This is a reprint. This is the Big Box Con reprint of Justice League of America, Volume 1, Issue number 1. I actually didn't think I was aware of this existence until I was checkmarking my Issue number 1 on my CLZ app. And I'm like, well, look at that. There's some reprints of it too. And if you're seeing some extra ripples in the bag, it's because this is in a bag and board, but the book is polybagged itself as well. So that might be why you're seeing a little bit of extra glare. But it's a good thing we got the close-up over here so you can see really what the cover looks like and appreciate it. So I'm just happy to have this. I'm more happy to have the original to Volume 1, Issue number 1. But I thought for the funsies of it, and it wasn't that expensive, I'm going to pick it up. And when I picked it up as part of a 2-book lot. And the other book that was in that lot was this. It's the exact same thing, it's just a variant cover. This is a black and white sketch cover. Now I have noticed that there is a third variant to this, which is a colored version of this cover. And that seems to be the hardest of the 3 to find. I mean, there's a couple on eBay for very high amounts of money, more than I even paid for my Justice League number 1, the original. If I don't end up getting that, I don't, and it's not that big of a deal. This was just, as I said a moment ago, for the funsies of it. And I like it. It's cool. Of course, this is a big homage cover. Not actually to issue number 1, but it's an homage to the classic first JLA JSA team up in Justice League of America number 21. Of course, that cover's been homaged so many times. I do have another Justice League comic book I want to share with you. And here it is. Since I was just talking about it, Justice League of America, Volume 121. This is the original, baby. I am stoked to have this. To get a Justice League number 1 this year, a Justice League number 3 this year, and 21, which is another huge key. None of this was on my radar, so I am celebrating the fact that this accomplishment happened this year. I've had a reprint of this since I was an original young childhood collector. And I can't say this about all of my comic books, but this one I can. Even as a young child, even as a young collector, this was an expensive comic book, you know, when you consider inflation and everything. But I always knew someday I would get a 21. I never thought I'd get a number 1. Honestly, I never did. But I always thought someday I'll get a 21. I just have this feeling I'll get it. This is the very first JLA JSA team up. We see things like the Golden Age and Silver Age Atom meet for the very first time. The Golden Age and Silver Age Green Lantern meet for the very first time. As I said, first JLA JSA team up, which they would do yearly in the Justice League comic books for 20-some years. It's an iconic cover that has been homaged so many times. I am stoked. I couldn't believe I found one that fell in my price range, because this book has started to heat up a lot, you know, in the last year to year and a half. It's a book that, at least for me, I don't see in the wild very often. Once in a blue moon, I've seen it at like a comic book show or a convention or something. Not all the time, but once in a blue moon. And I was happy to get one in, even though it's a lower grade, it's still not as low grade as I've seen some of the other ones at shows or online, and got it for a good price that fit my budget. So this was, wow, I still can't believe that. I had this goal of hopefully getting down to just needing 50 Justice League issues by the end of this year, and I don't think that that's going to happen now. I'm in the 70s right now. But the fact that I've gotten such big books like this, and issue 1 and issue 3, that's perfectly fine if I don't hit that goal. Hey, let's pop up my top 12 goal list of 2022, just as a refresher for you of how that's been progressing. Because I want to spend the rest of this video talking about the top 12 goal list. So that's where we stand with the goal list currently. And I should add in too, that Justice League 21, that would have been on the 2023 goal list for sure, because that's a book, like I said, I've been wanting since I was a childhood collector. But the remainder of this video, I want to update you a little bit since we're halfway through the year on how my goal list has been progressing. Here's a book off my goal list. Not just any book, the number 1 book I was hoping to get for 2022. It's X-Men number 113. I have been a fan of this cover since the very first time that I ever saw what the cover looked like. It's very rare, actually, that you get pretty much the entire group of X-Men all together on one cover. Usually they pick out 3 to 5 team members and just kind of showcase those. Great Magneto battle. When this issue was reviewed on the X-Men show with No Good Comics and John's Comics with Kids, that was the first time I actually read it, which was digitally. And I'm like, after reading it, I was like, I have to get this book. I love it. And being a big Phoenix fan, too, of the character Phoenix, Jean Grey Phoenix, I'm trying to fill in those Bronze Age appearances too. And ironically, she only had maybe like a dozen-ish covers or so. So this is a nice Phoenix cover that I didn't have in my collection. And see, it wasn't a Wonder Woman book that was my number 1 goal for to achieve as a back issue for 2022. It was a Mar-Vell book. It was an X-Men book. And I have it. So now we're going to pop up that list real quick once again and let you see that number 1 has been checkmarked off the list. But wait, I'm not done. So when I put Atom on my 2022 back issue goal list, it was basically because I didn't have any comic books of Atom from his own Silver Age series. And I thought around a little bit to which issue do I want. So I ended up deciding on issue number 8 because it did have a Justice League appearance. And I thought, you know, sometimes DC Silver Age stories are a little out there. They're a little wonky. And I thought, Well, if the story's no good, at least I have it as part of my Wonder Woman collection. And I picked this up and I read it, and you know what? The story wasn't any good. That doesn't mean I wouldn't get more at him or give him another shot. I'd especially like to get some towards the end of his run when he combined with Hawkman, so it was Adam/Hawkman. I'd like to get some of those issues and try some of those out in the future, but at least I have a Silver Age 1 from his own collection. I'm not 100% for sure, but I thought someone had mentioned that this is the second appearance of Dr. Light. Could be. I know his first appearance was in Justice League number 12, which I don't have yet, which would be awesome to get sometime for the future. But it might be his second appearance. It's definitely an early Dr. Light appearance. The issue, like I said, wasn't that fantastic, but I do have it. That part of the top 12 goal list was complete. And you know what that means? As I pop the list back up, DC Comics has won. That means that I got all of the DC books, which were about half. They were split in 50-50. Half DC, half Marvel, but all the DC got accomplished first. But wait, I'm still not done yet. One more I want to share with you today, and I'm glad that I've got this now. It's Captain Marvel number 28, and let me tell you why I'm glad I picked this up now. This is the first appearance of Eos. Did I pronounce that correctly? I believe that he's going to be in the Thor movie that's coming out next month. So this book will probably heat up because of that. It's the second appearance, no, it's the third appearance of Drax the Destroyer and the fourth appearance of Thanos. So it's early appearances of these characters as well. Plus we have the Avengers guest starring on this too, and this awesome colorful cover. I'm a big fan of this Captain Marvel series. I don't have a lot of issues. I think this might be my only my third issue I have from his series. And as you heard me talk about recently too, getting a book that looks like some of the advertisements had been removed from it. I had a panic moment with this because I was reading it and all of a sudden it says continued after the next page, but the next page was part of the story and it wasn't missing anything, and numbering wise, it was consecutive. And I was like, is there missing pages to this? So I ended up reaching out to Kachun. Thank you, Kachun, for easing my mind. And I'm like, you have this book, don't you? And he's like, I got a couple copies of this book. I'm like, can you check your copies and let me know if I have one where the interior ads are missing again, an incomplete copy? And he looked and he said, no, both of my copies say that. So it must have been a printing error, which eased my mind. You'll actually hear me talk about another case of advertisements being removed in a soon, very soon again on my Comic Book Editions video series here on my channel. But Captain Marvel number 28 was on the top 12 goal list, and I actually wasn't aware of this character potentially being in the Thor movie, but I'm glad I got it now because this book is starting to get harder to find too. I got this book in, it's in a fine condition, I'd say. There's a price tag up there. I didn't pay nearly as much as what that says too. But I guess the point I'm trying to get to is I got it in a really nice condition, in a nicer condition at a lower price than some poorer conditions were asking. It took a long time to spit that out. But I think you're with me. I think you understand what I meant to say. And you know what else it does? It also gives us another winner in the goal list board. As we pop that back up for one more second, now that that's check marked, you see that the top row defeats the bottom row this year. So what remains are those two books, two Marvel books from the bottom row. I'll tell you one thing. One of those books is in Canada being pressed and cleaned right now. And the other book, you'll see it soon on my channel. Not worried about that. Very soon I'll give you an update now that even though those two books aren't here in hand, essentially the top 12 list is wrapped up. But we'll make it official and show them when they're both in hand soon. In the meantime, I'll give you an update on a future video too, very soon, on how I'm progressing with some other runs that I wanted to complete in some other series. So I'll give you an update on that soon as well here on my YouTube channel. So I thought this was going to be a quick video, but you know me, I like to talk. And I would love to know which cover was your favorite. out of all of these that I showed? Do you have any of these books? Let's dialogue about that, as your comments are always welcomed, encouraged, and appreciated in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so now. It's a great way to show support, and hitting the notification bell will inform you when new content is added to my channel. Very easy to do. I'd love to know how your goal list for 2022 is progressing. So share that with me in the comment section below too. Give this video a thumbs up, a heart, share the video on the channel with someone that you think might enjoy it. It's another great way to show support. See you again for another comic book editions video very soon here on my channel. Until then, thanks for making it to the end, and take care. Bye.